everyone, Sarah here, and today we're going to finish off the Nutella Parkway, hopefully. So we're going to do the second slide of Season 4, Episode 20, The Super Shredder. So the Turtles tell Splinter what Shredder said, and they go to Safe Fry. They find photos of human Splinter, and they're also on fire. They find more at the where Fry told them Captain went to put them. And then a photo of Splinter with his eyes out. The Aircar is going to bullet. When they find her, he faces Shredder and he says, I have molded myself, and Shredder says, I have molded myself into perfection, Ratman. Look upon me and no fear. And the Splinter says, you must be proud. You are finally a monster inside and out. Then Splinter says, I want her to see you fall. And then finally, your brainwashing will disappear. And she'll remember that I was the one who raised her. It will be I who made her who she is. I sacrifice everything for her, of absolute love. And Christ says, Father's right, your transformation into a monster is complete. Splinter and Shredder fight while April and Turtles fight Tiger Claw and Roger. This phase turns the subway to a dead end, but Turtles get off just in time. Splinter gets away from Shredder and Cry frees herself, and the Turtles show up. Also, Splinter and Shredder fight Footbots. We'll fight each other while April and Turtles and Cry all fight Footbots. April sends Splinter in the Undersea, which is where they fought the Rat King. And Shredder weakens but still fights. It ends with them facing the mutant villains. And when Footbots and Splinter and Shredder falling 1,000 feet down. And nice that there's no way that either of them could survive a fall like that. Tale of Tiger Claw. Tiger Claw and Shredder are looking for Cry. FYI, the Shredder and Splinter both survived that 1,000 foot fall, apparently. Tiger Claw sees a flash of a fast fox-like creature while talking to me about Roxy and says the one who took his tail has come for him. Casey and Turtles trace Splinter after they finish. Splinter says, a roadblock has made something to be necessary in order to defeat the enemy. Yet you should also be prepared for your enemy to do the same. Therefore, you must learn to hone your intuition. Leonardo and Michelangelo have the strongest ability to sharpen their intuition. And close which Raphael's foresight. Not too grounded in his irrational mind. Only April near perfection. Casey, your intuition is basically 0.0. Everyone gets a premonition and tells Casey to be careful. Oh, and she no longer had the Soul Star fragment from Season 4. They're looking for Shredder's lair, apparently I said in Paris. I'm not sure why I wrote that. But Leo with Mikey, Raph with Casey, and Donnie with April. I'm not sure why I wrote in Paris, but they just go look for Shredder's lair, okay? When we learn Cry is living with the mighty cannibal, and Leo gets a glimpse of the fox-like creature, and Rem and Casey go after it, and they let April and Donnie know where to follow them. And we learn the fox is named Alopex, and she's taking twin blades Tiger Claw saw in a vision. And when Raph and Casey meet her, she says, let me give you a history lesson on the Blades of Vengeance. Centuries ago, they were owned by twin sisters. They used them against an evil warlord who had slain their family. The Blades cursed any man who was even sparked by their steel. Often is lightning fast and scratches Casey. Casey almost does it to Raph as well, but she senses Tiger Claw and goes and faces him just outside. She wears Tiger Claw's tail around her waist and they fight, and Alex leaves after a little bit. The Turtles and April meet up with Casey and Raph. Later, as they talk about the first blade, Splinter said, well, Leo says, the twin blade Alphexal are really sensitive first, but didn't say what the curse is. And then Sawyer says, because they are only known to ninja. These are cursed blades of vengeance. A person wounded by them, even the smallest cut, will be cursed with fatal misfortune. Flight 2. Casey's almost injured multiple times and is almost, basically, badly injured multiple times. According to the law, the only way to reverse the curse is to use the blade on the one who inflicted the curse, passing it back to them. The turtles go after Alopex, and elsewhere Tagclaw is with Mew and Rocksteady, and he says, Rocksteady says, who's the Alopex, Comrade Claw? Mew says, yeah, why are you so afraid of her, dude? And then Tagclaw says, I'm not afraid of her. It's much more complex than that. Listen well. We were children, a portal opened our small village. I think it was a magic door we entered. The Krang mutated and experimented on us. After many months of hardship, we escaped back to Earth, but we were monsters now. We could not return home, so we fled. We found refuge in a circus sideshow. Our skills were much too valuable, so we became top-level assassins in the criminal underworld. We were notorious and feared, but then she turned on me. She tried to kill me. I only ended up cutting off my tail. Although she was wrong, she believes I was wrong. She believed I destroyed her life. She must have spent years searching for me. But now it is I that will have vengeance. Elephants called Tagclaw Takeshi. I assume that's what his real name used to be. And a little later, the turtles catch Alopex. Alex says, I'm on a mission to destroy the one man who ruined my life. Tagclaw, my brother, it's his fault we were mutated. And he turned us to a life of crime. We would do terrible things to people. Tagclaw and Alopex fight, and he traps her, almost trying to kill her. When the turtles show up and stop it, Alopex lets Casey destroy the blade since it's the only other way to break the curse. After the first blade is already destroyed, not by Casey, Alopex, someone else destroyed that one. But as they fight, Casey goes to get the second one, and the others cover him. Well, he goes to get the blade. Alopex cuts off Tagclaw's arm and says, never forget, I could have taken your life. Now we're to Season 5. So Season 5, Episode 5. Lone Rat and Cubs. I just want to mention how cute the turtles are as children. Aww, they're so adorable. Anyways. Splinter is talking to the turtles when they were kids. He's telling them the rest of the story from Episode 1 what happened after they got mutated. So he says when the turtles were babies, it was his job to find food and hide from them for a world that would never understand them. One day he encountered the Krang, although he didn't know who they are yet, and only knows they are responsible for his mutation. He feeds the sons where they are staying for now. When Krang even find them, they have to find a new home. He finds the Krang and as they look for a new home, and he discovers the Krang are robots. He escapes, and at their new hiding place, he decides to name them. And he says, when I was a child, I wanted to be an artist. The thing probably named after the master of my favorite period art, the Renaissance. Perhaps then, you will grow up to be something great. So that's how they got the names Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo. They spend their days sleeping at night. He hunts for food and takes care of them. Who knows when he practices fighting, the turtles will try to imitate him? The Krang find them again, and they heads for somewhere to hide. We then have Rock got the crack in his shell. He got from some cart that's for care of it and supplies him. And it hits Raph, which is how he got the famous crack in his shell that he's known for. They realize they can hide in the sewers since the Krang trackers don't really work underground. They were sucked in the Maybe Splinter to what we know as the lair nowadays. He gives each turtle a weapon and says, Now I have a gift for each of you. As we continue our journey, although these are most of your own choosing, it's clear to me they chose you. The katana, a real samurai weapon, for those with courage and keen skills. The other is Sensei, the sai, for a fierce and fearless warrior, who will always fight the hardest for his family. Laura, thank you, Sensei. The most off, for a thoughtful soul and a peaceful heart. Ladani, oh man, it's sick. I'm Choco, because they're perfect for you. Because it's time for the next level of your training to begin. When you sound unsure when giving Mikey nunchucks. And as a little side note, they all had their personalities when they were very little. So, scene 5-6, The Curse of Savante Romero. So this happens during a Halloween. Can people fight wolves and vampires like real monsters? And so they're dressing up when April tells them Casey turned into a vampire, they say or one with monsters. As they fight Casey, April also bit by a vampire. Renette saves them. Savante fights the turtles before Renette saves them again. In time travel to ancient Egypt in the late 5th century. They go through pyramid hieroglyphics, setting off traps and getting through them. They find the mummies, and not even talk about mummies for some reason. Then they reach the pharaoh's chamber and wake him by accident. And they try to stop him while fighting Savante as well. They can't defeat them, so Savante leaves with the pharaoh. And next they go into the Middle Ages. So here's what the pharaoh looks like. Episode 7, The Crypt of Dracula. The travelers in the Soul Transway in the year 1300, and they land into London, renentering them as monster slayers. They have to find Dracula, and Nightstep has a seal of protection. Werewolves attack and the turtles fight them, but Renette and they retreat as the sun came up. They go after Dracula fighting Raph. After fighting Raph because Raph went missing. They meet Drac and keep going, and soon after Raph vomits as they find two travelers. They invite the child with them and the girl named Esmeralda. This is Raph was bit by a vampire. Savante arrives at Drac's castle and forces him to obey him. Elsewhere, Raph almost bites Mikey. Esmeralda stops him with garlic. The wolves carry off Esmeralda's father named Volko, and elsewhere we find out he's a werewolf. Mikey turns Volko back to human with silver, and Drac tries to fight Esmeralda. But Volko saves her, and Raph goes with Drac. They fight Raph and Drac, and the pharaoh moves away from Volko, so he turns back into a werewolf. The episode ends with them going to Germany in the year 1818 near Frankenstein's castle. Here's some pictures from that episode. So, episode 8, The Frankenstein Experiment. Drac finds Igor assistant to Dr. Frankenstein. Again, remember, Frankenstein's the scientist, not the monster. Everyone seems to want to forget that. Anyway, when the last episode ended, head for Frankenstein's castle. Drac sends Raph and the pharaoh after the turtles, and the pharaoh makes them see illusions. Frankenstein is disguised as and somebody helps him with a formula to create a monster. Well, the reason this guy Savante helped him with the formula to create a monster. He fights an illusion of Shredder and Karai. Donnie faces an illusion of a vampire, April and Casey. Renette faces an illusion of Savante, and Mikey faces Pizza Face. But if you remember, Pizza Face was completely destroyed. So realizing this, he breaks through and tells the others that Others that it's just and it works. The turtles are led to the lab to help Dr. Frank create his monster. The monster is now named Frank and tries to destroy the turtles. After being freed from Drax control, the Doctor tells Frank to destroy the other monsters. Leo fights Drac, and Donnie fights Raph and Reddit against Monty, and Lightning returns the Time Scepter. So here's what Dr. Frankenstein looks like. Hello. Monsters Among Us. We are back in the current day New York, but there are more monsters now than when they left. The Turtles fight the monster and drag summons Vampire Casey and April to help find the Turtles' lair, and the monsters get there. Right before that, Mikey took the girl off Raph, and he escaped, taking the half-charged Time Scepter to the other monsters. The Turtles tie up Donnie, since he's now turning into a vampire, after being bitten by April. They're trapped in an old hospital, and Raph is giving Drac the Time Scepter. Donnie fights them, but Frank busts in and they escape. Frank fights the monsters and they end up trying to free the store cage, and the feed Drac brings Donnie and Raph and returning them normal. April and Casey meet Renette for the first time, and Renette returns Volko to the past and takes Frank to the future. Wanted Bebop Rocksteady. Part 1. In the 80s Shredder and Krang come to our dimension, leaving the Bebop Rocksteady behind, and they fight the 80s Turtles, the Bebop Rocksteady from the 80s. And the Turtles can't find anything fun to do. By the way, Master Splinter is dead by now. I thought I might just mention. Bebop Rocksteady find a job ad for Warhog and Rhino, which specifically right. Anyway, they meet up with the 80s Shredder and Krang to get the job. Mikey sees their 80s version getting taken by Bebop Rocksteady. Rocksteady almost kills them, but Raph says they can't. It's a kid, but Rocksteady almost kills the 80s version of the Turtles. But Raph says they can't do that. This is a kid show. But first, our character knows they're in a kid show. Rocksteady and Bebop bring the 80s Turtles to Shredder, and Krang then trap them. They're in the Technodrome, and the Turtles find them, and they are also trapped. Part 2. The Turtles find a way out and free their 80s cells and get away. April and Casey finally meet the 80s Turtles, and Raph and April remember hearing about them. The Turtles try to train their 80s cells to use the weapons, and elsewhere we see the 80s football to help Bebop Rocksteady get some technology. It's a transmit shift I'm looking for. These Turtles are terrible at fighting. Cry and Shinigami spot Bebop Rocksteady and Foot box, so Shinny goes together with the rest of the Foot, while Cry follows the planet what they're up to. Cry calls Leo and tells him what she sees at the waterfront, or Freaking Center, which is where the traveling ship is. And Leo tells Cry not to make moves until they get there, and they'll be there soon. Leo and Monkey break in and are almost caught. Leo almost defeats them, but they get injured in time. They steal the ship, and as Prime's 80s Turtles for the first time, and Bebop Rocksteady come out. They surround Bebop Rocksteady, and as they fight, Shinny comes back with Cry's Foot Army. And Part 3. Remember these are the 80s Turtles? With the normal versions? The Turtles have a hard time finding Technodrome. Bebop Rocksteady go TCRI to get a Krang crystal, and they run to Leatherhead and Slash. They get past them pretty easily. Ronan tells Mikey about Bebop Rocksteady, and Turtles go over to there and stop them, but they get away. They trap the Technodrome. The Technodrome is planned to destroy the world, and they help bring Rocksteady the rock monsters from Dimension X. They tell them to help let Krang and Shredder defeat them, but Rocksteady fight with the Turtles, and they win. Then we have episode 92, Raphael the Mutant Apocalypse Part 1. We open forward in the future with no humans, and Raph gives us this narration. The world has changed. It's never ending wasteland now. Not a single human left. Only mutants. Something happened in my memory a few years back when the mutagen explosion went off. All I know is that only me and Donnie made it out alive. As he talks, we see April's fan. And then we cut to a visual Raph with a weird talking to Donnie as he's trying a much bigger version of the Shell Razor. And me and Jason and Raph fights them off. And Donnie's a robot now. And you can see in this picture. As he looks for supply, the small mutant meerkat steals the Shell Razor. Raph narrates as he walks and envisions a mutant explosion. When Raph gets back to the Shell Razor, and the meerkat, which is this little thing here, is named Mira, and she's of the Wild American clan. Mira and Raph talk as Raph looks for fuel. Mira and Raph fight after Raph leaves. Mira and the mutants find them. Mira instinctively tags along, and she has the Raph that helps them fight the mutants. Mira says there's a troll there in the wasteland that some call the Holy Chalupa. And Raph realized that Maggie probably couldn't name. Mira also shaved Raph's beard, because Raph has this beard. Part 2. The Honey Badgers and the Scaletail clan help them get rid of Raph. Donnie agreed to help them get rid of Raph, Donnie, and Mira. Mira says that the Holy Chalupa is always to translate the map to Oasis that she has on her arm. And she shows them that we learned how she's the last member of her clan left. As they cross the impossible wasteland, or so they went to quicksand pits. Raph navigates with Donnie's helmet, and as a figure watches them, they're almost attacked by a giant turtle creature. And we know the figure was Mikey, and the turtle creature is Chubby. If you remember, that's Raph's alien pet turtle. We go to Mikey's place, and we see Ice Cream Kitty. We learn Mikey created the map to Oasis, but they are attacked before he could translate it, and they take Mira. Raph steals a bike and goes after them. Mikey, Chubby, and Donnie maybe die from missile. They can't, but the mutants took Mira can't translate the map. As Raph arrives and saves Mira, he did it, but then all of a sudden they're both immediately captured. And Raph is knocked unconscious, and then it's taken to a pit. That's Mikey. This is what Mikey looks like in this picture. And then in part 3 of this series, of this episode, Chompy and Mikey and Dye aren't dead. Raph made the fight that Scaletail Warrior and the Honey Badger leader. Mikey and Chompy and Dye win. Raph is kind of winning, but Elsa's kind of losing, but finally wins. Mikey and Donnie sit celebrating Raph, and since he won, Raph is the leader of both clans, and we hear about and meet someone named Maximus. As they look for Oasis, they find a live tree as a landmark, and they also go to a canyon base, and Mira talks about Maximus, and says, well, Raph says, who the heck is that? And then Mira says, you never heard Maximus call him King North, warrior chief of the wasteland? Demagogue of desert? They fight briefly, but later turns to chase, and Raph goes to fight Maximus. Mira fights the Honey Badger, and Mikey fights these tiny inklings. Mikey and Mira go to help Raph. Raph's son Maximus calling is Leo, but Leo can't remember him or himself. But after a fight, Leo regains his memories, and they arrive at Oasis together. That's Leo, by the way. I know, weird. Last episode of the series. When Worlds Collide, Part 1. The Solid Mandarin head through space heading for Earth. We know the new trend is a Solid Mandarin, mentioned earlier to be called Kvathorak. I'm just going to call him neutralizer for the rest of this episode. And then later, Raph watches TV and sees April and Donnie joke with each other on Leo and Cry train. Mikey is talking with some future space tech. And Raph gets a message from Mona Lisa about her coming to Earth and gets them the coordinates. The heroes and Cry and April meet up with Mona Lisa and Self Commander, and then they are looking for the neutralizer because he has been hunting down the neutron on Earth and in Dimension X. Self Commander and Mike can go to find the neutralizer while left Mona and Raph to keep watch. Also, the others are also looking for the neutralizer. When Raph asks what happens in the last event, Mona says, so many things have transpired, Raphael. After he left, Lord Drake invades Almendria. It was a huge battle, the biggest planet ever seen. And the Vikings no matter all give him a missile, and Raph and Mona go make sure they're okay. And when they get there, Bishop captures Cell Commander and Mona Lisa. Soon after he frees them, after being told they were saying what to help stop the Krang. The others find the neutralizer, and later Bishop summons the neutralizer and try to fight it, but nothing works. They go through the neutron portal and meet up with the rest of the trolls and cry in April. The neutron disintegrates Mikey, and when they are back on Earth, and Lord Drake arrives on Earth. Part 2. In case you forgot, that's Mona Lisa. I can find a picture of Cell Commander, so sorry, he isn't in this PowerPoint ever since the last episode he was in. Then Cell Commander are captured by Lord Drake, and Cell Commander is right in the background there. Anyways, the children run off after being attacked, and Mikey is somehow brought back by electrified pizza. Neutralizer captures Johnny, and the bugs capture Cry, and they're taken to Drake and are captured. The rest of Drake's ship, the rest of the attack Drake's ship and the turtleneck, and they are almost killed. They get inside, Mikey frees the others, defeats the neutralizer. Mikey fights with electric power, neutralizer defeated, and they all get off the ship. They get rid of Mikey's power, and Mona decides to stay on Earth. And that's the end of the series. Anyway, so, I have a poll posted on my channel. So go check that out and vote on what next show you want me to do. And I want to show you something that I completed earlier. I completed this time thing. You may have seen it back when I did my Christmas videos. But I finally completed it. And in case you're wondering why it looks so shiny, not only the beads that come with my painting, but I had to put some of this sealant on it. To keep all the gems on there. So I finally completed my very first diamond painting. Which I'm very proud of myself for doing. It took me like almost a year to complete it. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!